where it's built for. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I've been really excited to do this review. This is my own personal vehicle. This is a 2016 BMW X5M. All right, so if you're not familiar with the X5M, because you know BMW makes an X5, the M is your high performance version. Think of it like AMG for Mercedes, SRT for Jeep, RS for Audi, but it's your full-blown high performance. Now, I acquired this vehicle last year, in the fall, and I used to have a X5 X-Drive 50i and the same generation, the F chassis. Now, if you want to watch that review, I can link that up here if you guys can watch that. But this one, I'm gonna talk more exclusively with the X5M. I want to explain what the differences are, what you get with the packages, and I'm gonna cover the details inside just like I normally do for reviews. All right, so first of all, I just wanna say this thing, I've had it for a few months. It is a blast to drive. I have had so much fun with it. I mean, it's hard to explain just what BMW engineered. It's almost like they have somehow defied laws of physics, because I have thrown this thing to a curve and I was thinking there's no way it's gonna stick in this curve, and with that torque vectoring rear differential, it's like it's on rails. The sticky Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires, I've been really impressed. I've actually had more fun driving this than my own. I also have a 2016 BMW M3, and this one is actually brings more smile on my face in a different way. I'm not saying I don't like the M3. M3 has its own, respect that in its own way, but for an SUV, for something that you carry your family in, and then the fact that when you're not driving with the family, you can have a lot of fun with it. The power plant in this thing, it is a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. It is called the S63 TU. It is what basically is the tuned version. It's got a few other things. It's got like twin scroll turbochargers up from the normal 50i, and of course extra cooling and bits and stuff in there too. So if you go from a 50i, you get 445 horsepower, and then I think it's around like 480 pound-feet of torque. But when you step up to the M, you're getting 567 horsepower, and you're going to get 553 pound-feet of torque. All right, now this is powered through an 8-speed automatic transmission. BMW did its own tuning, its own configurations on this to give this more of a DCT-like feel. And when I say with DCT-like feel, because it's not a DCT, but when you see inside the shifter, that bird, I feel like you don't start until I start reviewing. When I say DCT, like the shifter, when you look at it, you'll see it looks like a DCT. There is no park button, no park mode, but it drives and behaves like one, because if I'm at a stoplight, it automatically switches to neutral. So when you're in a hill, it can roll back on hills. Or if you're sitting level, you can take your foot to brake, and it sits there, and it gives you that character, like you're in something different. You're not just in the regular X5. This is something special. When you're sitting side of it, you're gonna see the Alcantara headliner, Alcantara. You can see leather everywhere. When I say leather everywhere, I mean from like top to bottom, from the dashboard all the way down to the doors, down to the bottom of the doors. So when you're detailing this thing, have your leather cleaner. You need a lot of leather cleaner, a lot of conditioner to clean this thing, because it is a leather everywhere. But I appreciate the details. Like I said, the character that this one has, I just love it. I love the sound. It's different. I mean, at first I was a little bit like, you know, I didn't know how I feel about it, because you know what, I like that traditional V8 sound, like V8 roars, and this one has that more raspy, like DTM racer feel. I don't know how to put it in words. So we go around it. You obviously in the front, you got your lower air ducts. You got it just looks slightly more aggressive. It's still subtle. Just a little back history. The X5M first came out, I believe, in 2010 with the old E70 chassis. that one I felt like they made it a little bit more aggressive. They didn't have the fog lights in the bottom. It had just big air ducts that sucked, you know, air, and you could tell that this was not your special SUV. Now at the time when BMW did this, I think there wasn't any competitors back then. I think at the time you couldn't. I think the only fast SUVs you can get back then was maybe the Trailblazer SS, which wouldn't hold a candle to it. You had your Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8, which still wasn't enough. You know, like I said, this was the fastest one, and then you had the Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Now it's been going back and forth with Porsche Cayenne and BMW. They've been going back and forth, but I still think for the money, this is where the value is. All right, so let's cover the details. I'm gonna go over it with you guys. I'm gonna show you guys what the difference is you get, and then we can go around the inside and I'll take it for a drive. You're gonna get a lot of the standard things. You're gonna get the Harman Kardon stereo. You're gonna get these 21-inch wheels. These called the M612 wheels. They're staggered, so you get 285 up front, and you're gonna get a 325 in the rear. Now, if you say, you know what, those wheels are too aggressive, BMW lets you option and get a smaller 20-inch setup, which actually this one did have. I can link this to the picture here in a minute. This one did have a 20-inch setup. Also, you're gonna get the quad exhaust with the M's. That's another thing that sets it apart. If you look here, you'll see just how, look at the bumpers redesigned. It gives it more of that M look. I mean, I really like it. I really like how they designed it. It just gives that more, it's kind of a sculpted rear bumper. And the exhaust also has different modes. So if you want something a little bit quieter, you want to tone it down a little bit. If you run in a comfort mode, it actually quiets down the exhaust. Once you go to the Sport, however, the Sport does make it a little bit louder. But one thing I can appreciate is when you go to level 3 on the shifts, you get these pops on upshifts. I mean, I'm going to show that later. Up front, the brakes, 6-piston brakes up front, and then you're going to have just a single piston in the rear. Not sure why they did that, but that's what you get here. I think now the newer generation X5s with the M package, even if it's not a true M, just having an M Sport gives you, I think, bigger brake calipers up front. The way it's equipped with the suspension, it actually prevents it from leaning in corners. It helps with that body roll. And also you have that torque vectoring rear differential. You can get the xenon lights, LED fog lights. You're gonna have the, obviously, backup camera. And once you decide to option, the only options you get is night vision package. You can add in the executive package, which gives you the ventilated seats, the heated steering wheel, has display, power closing doors, or soft closed doors, depending on what you want to call them. And when we get the LED headlights, you get the automatic high beam. All right, rear sunshades. And I'm gonna cover a little bit more about what's going on here. I have a couple extra little things in here. So let's start with the key, because I always do my reviews with the key. So this is my key. Now this is got the M colors on here. I like the key. I had this also on M Sport. I can appreciate these keys. I think they give these things really good. I don't know. I like the keys, and I like keys that look nice. All right. Now this has the comfort access, and by say comfort access means the keys in my pocket. I can lock the vehicle like that, and it's on both doors. Also the trunk as well. And when you go in here, grab the door handle, opens up, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. Look how much leather there is. Look at the contrast stitching, the red contrast stitching, the carbon fiber on here. You can get carbon fiber, you can get aluminum trim. I even see it as wood trim, but most commonly I see on the X5, at least on the used market, has been the carbon fiber. You know, it seems like people seem to really love that. And all the way down to the bottom of the doors, you have the leather, and like I said, you got different. Now I think standard, you're gonna have what they call extended leather. I'm not sure how far it goes, but when you go to the full merino, which I think comes in different various colors, this is Mugello red. And then exterior, the exterior is Donington gray, but when you go to Mugello, this is a Mugello red full merino. This is where you start to see all the other things. So this is a really comfortable place to be. It's a fat steering wheel. You see the tricolor stitching on the wheel. I really like it. Obviously, it telescopes towards you, so when I turn the vehicle on, it comes down. And of course, you have your adjustments this way to bring it into your position. But when I sit here, I see the bolsters, and of course, you know, the low door seal, the windshield. I feel really comfortable, and I feel really safe driving this vehicle. I feel like if I had to take, especially with that the X5s in general, not saying just M exclusive, but just X5s in general, they feel very planted on the road. So if I had to take a basic maneuver on the highway, I'll never feel like, oh, this thing's gonna tip or roll. I just feel like they're very stable, and you have a good view of everything around you. Even my kids have commented that how low the door frame, like the door frame is, so they can actually see out the window more than they could with, you know, some of the other SUVs I've owned. The shifter is here. I mean, I'm not going to be using this as much. Usually it's a paddle shifter, so I do anything else, but it is right here. You have your armrest. Really good feel. Have lots of headroom. All right, so here we are inside, and this is where I'm talking about this leather. I mean, look how it is. I mean, it starts here at the top of the door, and it travels all the way down through the door here. You got the red contrast stitching that comes all the way around. I mean, even the inside, even come around here, they have the leather tucked all around in here. I mean, this is a lot of leather. It is, like I say, you have it here, and if you look here at the inside, let's pan here through the inside so you guys can see what it looks like. Look at these seats. I mean, these look like racing seats. These are super supportive. They are really comfortable. I haven't did a long drive in these yet. That's really tell you how they are long term, but the most I've done with them has been an hour in these seats, and I can tell you right away that they are comfortable. I could probably do a good 7 to 8 hours in here and not have any problems. And then you have your thigh extension here. These are 16-way adjustable seats. Also, you can do your thigh support separately. You have a memory seat. You can tilt it, and then you have the bolsters, and you can curl the front. You can curl the seat forward. So if I don't like, you know, I can lean it forward all the way. And of course, I can do my memory. Coming through here, you have your coin tray. Look at this thing. This thing's even wrapped in leather. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, I've just never seen so much. And like I said, this is where I feel like they really stepped up here when you go to these M's and gives it the full leather treatment. I mean, look at that. And I'm not saying like the other X5s don't have that. I know that they do have a leather dashboard package. I'm just not sure how far it goes down because I've never been in one. When you got your light switch, these are, you can have fully automatic headlights. When I say fully automatic, it means they will activate not only dusk and dawn, but they'll activate when wipers are in auto and it's raining outside. They'll activate the headlights. You have LED fog light, automatic high beam, more leather coming across the top of the dashboard, and then of course carbon fiber coming across here. Damp glove box, more leather there, and this is what I was talking about, the shifter, how it looks. Man, this looks, there's no park mode, there is no park button. The only way you can put this car in park is to turn the engine off while it's in drive or reverse, and then it'll automatically switch it off. If you leave it in neutral, it won't turn off initially. You have to press and hold the start stop button to get it to actually turn off. And of course here you have different buttons. These are the ones that are circled in a silver bezel are all your drive related functions, and then these are your camera, hill descent control, traction control. All right, so and then you come across here, you have your M1, M2 presets. I can explain that here later. You got your paddle shifters. That's it about the automatic wipers back here, and of course start stop button, and then of course your automatic engine stop disabled here. This is where I'm talking about this whole Alcantara. This is all Alcantara. all the way down. I mean, look at the A-pillars, the whole thing, and this gives it that. I've never seen Alcantara so much in the headliner other than when I was in a Lamborghini Huracan. I feel, like I said, I feel like it's just really something special in here. And now this was supposed to be like my second daily, and I don't want to drive it as much because I feel like it's too nice to drive and get on the road so much. But you know, these cars are built for it. These cars are made to drive. They sit in the garage all day long. You're not getting the best usage out of them. Another option up here was the Bang & Olufsen sound system. It is fantastic sounding. I mean, I can't play it obviously here because, you know, for one, copyright strike. Second of all, you're not gonna be able to feel, or you're not gonna be able to hear and feel the difference, because the bass just thumps. It actually, you feel it more in your chest than you hear it. And then the highs and lows, the clarity. I mean, there's songs I play in here that I've heard different sounds, and I've never been able to hear that other than in the sound system. You got your home link buttons up here, up top. Got your sunglass holder. Down here, up here you have your reading light. I'm sorry, your reading light, but your vanity light, and then of course you have your reading lights down here. Sunroof. Let's get this thing on. So you can see here how that acoustic lens rises when you turn the vehicle on. And like I said, going across here, this is your settings, so you can adjust your all together, or you can sync it like the passenger can do theirs separately. They can set their fan speed independent, what you set yours. And of course you have heated, ventilated seats. Turn these off. You can just press and hold, turn them off, and then you can sync it all together. Press and hold, turn it off. Now, if you were, this right here is AM, this is automatic recirculation, so if the car senses harmful fumes, it can automatically recirculate the climate control for fresh air. Going over here, you got your typical presets. You can assign these to certain presets. So if I want, say for example, my favorite, if I want the map to be here at 800 feet, or a quarter mile here, I can set that in this perspective view, and all I'm doing is I'm just gonna press and hold. There you go, map perspective. So anywhere I'm in this menu, by pressing this, now it takes me to that. Just a quick shortcut. Instead of me trying to navigate through all these menus and going through everything, I can set different shortcuts. I can set my media, like say, okay, this is my CD, this is, so on and so forth. You can have anything, favorite radio station, just favorite mode, you can have it displayed and just have it quickly, accessible to you. And just hovering over them, if you say you're confused, like I don't know what number one is, just hovering over it tells you a little bit, and then actually pressing it activates it. I even have it here where my number 7 button is my driver profile. And then like I said, if my fiance wants to drive the vehicle, I can program one for her, and then she can just quickly access her profile and her settings through here instead of having to go through and the menu and selecting it herself. Up here you have your safety halo. You can set your presets to turn it off. Right now, if I press and turn it off, it turns off the lane departure warning. I can have it to turn off the blind spot if I wanted to. Pedestrian warning, front of collision warning. Pedestrian warning is only in daytime. If you want nighttime pedestrian warning, you have to get the night vision package. That's the only option this vehicle does not have, is night vision. Pressing it once again, you get the green, means all systems are on, they're active. Sunroof. So pressing it once, or you're going the second time. Now you open the sunroof. Once for the shade, twice for. This is BMW's preset for best sound. So when you're highway speeds, it doesn't get that buffeting. Now if you go open it all the way up, you can get the full view of the sunroof. However, when you're driving with this wide open, it's going to be really noisy and hard on your ears because you're going to get a lot of wind turbulence, a lot of buffeting. Also, you can do a tilt function, which I'll show that here. I press that, pressing it in does a tilt. It opens both the front and rear glass. So if you look at that here, However, the rear glass is not open, it just tilts only. And of course you have your SOS. SOS is just for if you have BMW Connect services, emergency services. It's similar to what you'll find on Star. Up top you'll find reading light. When you open it, LED light comes on. Same thing for the passenger side. Wipers are they're rain sensitive. So when you go to your auto mode, pressing this button in activates your auto setting, and then from there you can choose if you want them to be more sensitive or less sensitive, or if you say, you know what, I don't care for the rain sensing, I just want to be on low or high, you can choose from there. Or down is one swipe. Cycling through here, you have automatic high beam, and then you have your BC. Your BC cycles through all your modes here as far as what you want to see, your fuel mileage, compass, mile per gallon, average speed, speed limit. The vehicle can read speed limit signs, and of course your miles remaining on this tank of fuel. Auxiliary port, or it's a circuit lighter. Going to the center console. Got your smartphone connect. This is a remote control for your entertainment, but you'll see you got your 12-volt outlet, USB port, and auxiliary port. All right, this says electronic parking brake, has auto hold. Off-road windows are fully automatic, up and down, and power folding mirrors. I'll fold those in. Get back over. So this mode here, you can set your engine throttle response to efficient, your suspension to comfort, everything comfort, your steering to comfort. Or I can go down to these buttons here, and you can see where I have the steering controls, and by pressing them I can cycle through and see exactly what. So right now I want my engine throttle response to be sport, I still want comfort suspension, or I want sport steering. All right, now unfortunately when you set these, they all default, especially too, you have your drive mode, drive logic for your transmission. So you have efficient, sporty, and you have super, like quick, you know, like dynamic. It's like super. I mean, when I put this in the level 3 for your shifting, for one, it doesn't shift up to the highest gear on the highway. And second of all, as soon as you slow down, it's always ready to go. It's always downshifting, it's always ready. I think this is really appropriate for like a track or something. This is where you get the burps on the upshift when you're in level 3. But aside from that, when you set all these settings, and then for example, what if when I turn the car off, you know what's gonna happen is everything switches back to default. Everything goes back to default, efficient, comfort. That's very frustrating. Or if you say you have your favorite settings, do you want to keep cycling through all these all the time? You don't. So BMW have given you not one preset, but they give you 2 presets. So I can set one here, and by pressing my number 1, puts all my settings, my preferred settings, I have it is in sport. All right, now you can set what you want. You can, like I said, I can put everything all in memory and say, all right, this is what I want M1 to perform, and I could have it where the comfort suspension and, you know, vice versa. But it's nice that they give you a quick access preset right here on the steering wheel, instead of me trying to go ahead and here and trying to dial up each one and cycle through it. You know, you have 2 levels of traction control. You have M dynamic mode, and then of course you press and hold, it'll fully disable the traction control. And it says right now DSC inactive. When you're in there, you're on your own, so be careful. You have your front camera, and of course you have your top down camera. My door is open right now, that's why that second one isn't opening up right now. But if I close this door, and also you have your rear view camera. Also you have guidance lines. The red shows you where to trajectory if you were to turn the wheel to the max. The green is where your trajectory is, where the wheels are pointing now. So by adjusting the wheel, tells exactly where you're going to go next.
Black view for your safe driving. Starting normal recording.
And then of course coming through here, you have your multimedia. I covered this a lot in my X550i video. You can watch stat if you prefer, and then you go in here, and then you can set like All right, this is all my sound settings. If you want, you have your equalizer. You can adjust that separately. You go in there separately. You can go.
Light view for your safe driving. Recording.
Since I have rear entertainment, which I haven't shown that yet, I can choose where I want that played. Say, for example, I have a child back here and I want to put them on headphones and play the music, and you know, depending on where they are, where they're sitting. I can do a split screen if I want. That way I can have my entertainment on the right, map on the left, and do that way. Or I can put nav on the right and have everything going over here to the left. You can set basically what your preferred way is. Of course, your settings. This is what I was talking about. If I go to my M1, I can configure my presets right here, or I can just set them up and then press and hold the M1 appropriately. And when you see, like here, for example, M view, if you look here, I don't know if you can see my heads-up display. When I go to M view, because right now this just shows me my basic speed and my speed limit. All right. Also, it shows other things too, like if I want to make a phone call or someone's calling me, it'll show up here. Or if I want to cycle through phone calls, it can all show up here. And it can also show me like radio stations, things like that, or you know, music selections. But if I go to my M view, now I have a tachometer, and I also have shift lights. So above this tachometer are little shift lights. So you'll see yellow go yellow and it turns red once it's time for you to shift. I think it's pretty cool. Like I said, for this, man, I'm not tracking it, but if I were to track this, I can see where it's useful. On my M3, I find it very useful. You got your other things, your connections. I mean, I could cover all of these things too. These are just like, I might have to do a separate video on just this stuff because I just feel like there's so much to cover here. This is your ambient lighting. You can choose where you want the light to do, what colors you have. This is your pathway lighting. This is when you get out of the vehicle and you activate the pathway lighting. It is activated by turn the vehicle completely off, meaning radio is off, everything, pulling the high beam once towards you, and then at that point the pathway lighting is activated. You can turn on the turn lights. The welcome lights is when you unlock the vehicle. It turns on the parking lights. You see the halos and stuff on the headlights. Just activates that. Triple turn signal is when the turn signal, if I do not all the way but just one click, it blinks 3 times. Those are really good for lane changing. Without having to activate a full like turn signal, you just quickly like just bump it up and release it. Let's see, tailgate. You can program your tailgate. This is all X5s. Right now, this is the max opening height. But say for example, I'm in a garage or I'm parked. If I'm just a short person, I can set the opening height a little bit lower, something easier for me to reach. Rear entertainment. I can lock it off. I can give, volume limits for the headphones. I can do different things where I can say, you know what, I don't want the rear to be using it. Like if I have a toddler or somebody's back there messing around with it, I can just quickly disable them from having use of this. Right now I have it equal control, so that way back there they can have equal control. I'm gonna go back there and show that. All right, going to the back seat. It's comfortable. I really wish that they had some recline switch in here too. I could recline it, or even scoot it back a little bit more. You are in a fixed position. That will probably be my negative with these X5Ms, is with the M, you cannot get the comfort rear seat option, at least in this generation. Like I said, I feel like I'm okay. I don't know how I'll handle a long road trip sitting up in this position because I'm used to SUVs giving that extra little bit of recline, and here you're in a fixed position. I do have my screen if I want to watch a movie or something like that, or just watch the navigation like a movie map on airplane or anything like that. I have that available, just keep you busy. But other than that, got an armrest, 2 cup holders in here. But that's it for the back seat. I mean, I have 2 ports. I have one auxiliary port, 1 circuit lighter, which I probably could use that for 12 volt as well. 4-zone climate control, 2 heated rear seats for the outboard seats are heated. And of course I can do my climate control and the wheels separately. And then of course the outboard passenger, the heated seats, they're heated. We're gonna go back to auto and set from there. So you have these wheels to control temperature, air coming out, just like the front. Down below, you'll have a DVD player, CD or DVD player, and of course 2 ports for the headphones. You can do wired headphone or wireless. Then below that, circuit lighter, and then you have the auxiliary port. Like I said, I don't know who really smokes in these cars, but I'm sure people will probably still do. Going through here, and this thing you can turn it on this way. And the driver can control this too. I probably do a separate video on how this works, but you can set this up to where now I can listen to music myself. I can play music through the whole car speakers. I can play radio through the speakers. I can play a CD through the speakers, or I can set it individually where I can listen to the headphones. Additionally, it's all controlled through this remote control. This remote control controls both screens. You have to choose, you get a slider and choose which screen you're going to control. All right. This control is illuminated at night, so at dark it will illuminate, and it can it makes it easier to see at nighttime. All right. So if I want to go back in here, and I can look at navigation. I can send something to the car, to the driver, to say, you know what, this is where I want to go. And the driver has an option, so I want to say something here. And I could suggest, I could calculate the route and see for myself, or I could suggest. If you calculate the route, it won't, it'll just show it. But but that's just me for myself. It won't actually override to what's showing up here. Here, this is Brazilian Steakhouse. Now, that right there is suggested. And the driver can now, this is right there where it says suggested from rear, they can say yes or no, or they can add as destination, things like that. So I guess if you have people in the car and they say, hey, you know what, don't worry, you drive, I'll figure this out for you. And if they know how to operate it, that's the thing about it. Most people don't. If you're familiar with these infotainment systems, you'll know it. But if you just got someone here randomly, they will try to figure it out. It may be easier to do it yourself. And if you have wireless headphones, you have to buy the BMW specific wireless headphones. So I have a pair right here. These unfold. These actually sound nice. They're about $160, so they are pricey. When I bought this vehicle, I did not have them. I don't know if the previous owner had them and they kept them himself and resold them. And then I think there's an option to choose left or right. Yep. So that's probably why it has to be BMW specific, because it has left or right there. And then of course you have your volume. What I'd probably like to do, I would probably figure out how to weigh, because there is a special port in here, RCA. So if I could figure a way to plug in the Xbox back here, use my phone as a hotspot, I would just sit back here and play video games, and I'll have, you know, my fiance drive. I'll say, you know what, you're gonna drive, I'm gonna play back here, I'm gonna play Xbox, play Call of Duty or something like that. This is power tailgate, or say power hatch. This tailgate is manual. This is just my bag. And then there's extra, say, storage. This is my spare tire. And also where I hide, you know, Christmas presents, things like that. If you don't get the spare tire, you'll just get a cubby on some of the X5s. I believe the M's come standard with the spare tire, I'm not sure, because you don't get the rim flat. And a third row is not an option with the M's. So just be aware of that. And of course you can leave the tailgate closed, and then this right here, you have 2 options. You can shut the gate like this, or you can do let's shut it and lock it at the same time. So once it closes, it will do a lock the entire vehicle. This is something you'll do. You'll press at the last minute. Say, for example, I'm grabbing my last bag out of the trunk. I want to come up here and I want to lock it. That's what you'll do. So this is what I'm talking about. This is BMW's 4.4 liter twin turbo V8. It has 567 horsepower and 553 pound-feet of torque. Now that's on premium fuel only, and the 0 to 60 time is 4 seconds flat. I haven't seen much better than that, maybe a 3.9, but I can't remember where I read that. But I know 4 seconds flat is what you kind of would expect. Okay, so I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna drive. All right. This is one thing about the character I was saying about this vehicle. I'm not going anywhere. It's like a neutral. It's like I'm going in. I'm sitting here like I'm a manual transmission car, but I'm not in a manual transmission car. I'm in, SUV. So it has a creep mode. You just tap the gas pedal once, and then it starts to go. But once you come back to a stop, there's a second delay. Now it switches back into neutral, and you see right now I'm kind of rolling back, but just tapping the gas pedal once puts me back into creep mode. It took a little bit getting used to. I'll be honest with you, it took a little bit getting used to this because I've always felt like I'm, it gives you that false insecurity, like, oh, this is rolling back on me. And I think a couple times I parked in the parking lot, like a parking spot, and I thought, oh, I'm done. I put it in drive, and the car stopped. I've actually rolled back, and I almost hit the wall behind me because it felt that sensation, like, oh crap, I'm rolling back, and I had to grab the brake really quickly. So that was surprising. So guys, be careful if that happens to you. If you drive one of these or you own one of these, just be mindful that it does switches to neutral. So but here we are, we're getting on the road. Now I will tell you this: the suspension is super stiff. Right now I'm in comfort mode. Most often than not, I never really feel the need to get out of comfort because it's not floaty like I experience in other vehicles. I even feel like it's almost too stiff because when I have the family in the car, I'm thinking I need to make this a little bit more comfortable, and I don't have that ability. Pull out from this car here. And already 60 miles an hour comes up quick. That was part throttle. I had a small traction control intervention, but other than that, and I was actually pulling out in traffic. This thing is just super fun. And guys, listen to these burbles. Listen to these upshift burbles. Let me go to this. Paddle shifters are super responsive, but I don't know. I just like that. I like that. It reminded me a lot of my 63 AMG. It used to do the little burps on the upshift and just loud. But it only does that when you're level 3. Level 2, man, it's more of a smoother shift. That's a perfect blend. I'm not sure if it's even faster in level 3 or not, but like I said, it does give you a good feeling. Let's check out this turn radius. In the turn lane, there's 2 lanes here with the bike lane. Let's see if I can make a U-turn right here. I know you probably can't see much, but so again, right now, foot's off the brake, not going anywhere. Tap the gas pedal, going forward. Let's try U-turn. I have to cross over to that bike lane a little bit. And let's see how it accelerates. I almost feel like sometimes with the suspension, just because it is right now, I'm still in comfort mode. But I mean, I don't want to say it's a negative, because it's not a negative. It's just a preference. Because there's also times vehicles where sport is not sport enough. I wish they had something a little bit different. I wish they gave me at least a little bit more mode, or maybe one more mode. Give me a sport, or just give me a comfort plus, really, because comfort plus is where I just feel like I need that extra. I don't know how you describe it, but it is. I feel like I need a little bit more softness. I mean, this is a bumpy road here, so I can't knock it too bad. But that's probably the only thing. Other than that, I think it's perfect. This for a super sport SUV. I'm thinking to myself, this is exactly what I want out of it. One more stoplight blast. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you enjoyed the review.